Hey everybody, this is TF Now. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys Cyberpunk 2077 Takemura figure. I don't know anything about this character. I'm very excited for the game though. No one really knows anything about this character yet, but we're getting some pretty prominent merchant, action figures of this guy, so I'm assuming that we're going to see a good amount of him in the game. He's going to be a pretty important character. I'm really hoping McFarlane Toys keeps this toy line going just for a little bit longer. I'd like to see some different characters that we see in the trailers already. Hopefully some characters that we haven't seen yet that I'm going to like. I just recently reviewed the previous series of figures, which was Johnny and V. This figure just came out recently. We got another re-release of Johnny Silverhand with some different accessories. So let's just go ahead and talk about the packaging here. It's slightly different from the previous packagings that I showed off. The backdrop is different. It has some graffiti on the wall that's different from the previous figures. Instead of the age warning on the bottom left, it's on the top right of that little tab when you're hanging it on a little display thing at the store. Pretty much everything else is the same. It says Cyberpunk 2077 in that foil type of lettering. It says Takemura on the bottom right there. You can see the figure in the box, of course. On one side here, it's just a black backdrop that says Cyberpunk 2077. On the other side, you see where it says McFarlane Toys on the top. On the side there, it says Takemura. And then it has the CD Projekt Red logo towards the bottom. When we look towards the back, you get both figures that are being shown in the series. And it says also available for Johnny Silverhand. Pretty much everything else is standard from what we saw previously in the packaging. 22 moving parts. 7-inch scale, all that stuff. When we look towards the top, again, we do see that little tab that I was talking about, ages 14 and up, non-toy. I got this on Amazon, and the packaging was pretty good quality for Amazon standards, but they put a freaking disgusting sticker on there that left this ton of sticky stuff on there, so I'm a little annoyed. But on the bottom, you could just see the barcode there in case you need it. So let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. So here is Takemura out of the packaging. It's a pretty alright figure, but really the only issue I have with getting this figure, at least right now, is that we don't really know anything about the character. With Johnny Silverhand, when he was released, I mean, he was a pretty established character already into the Cyberpunk lore, so there was reason to get him. And the V figure, I mean, he's basically us, so we could do really whatever we want with him. Again, with this guy, we don't really know anything about him yet. That's not a problem with the figure, though. That's just me not really warranting the price of the $25 figure here. I do have a couple issues that are pretty standard with some McFarlane Toys figures, so we'll talk about those in a second. We'll take a look at his accessory, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. So one thing I realized that I could have at least shown off in the previous Cyberpunk reviews was the backdrop that's keeping the figure stands in there. I don't want to ruin the backdrop, so I haven't ripped out any of the stands. Same thing with Takemura here. But you can see here, it just says a very basic circular base that says Cyberpunk 2077 and the character's name right there. The only other accessory that we get is this futuristic looking submachine gun. I have no idea what the name of this weapon is in game. It kind of looks like an Arasaka weapon. From what I've seen online, I think an Arasaka weapon matches this exact look. It's pretty well done. I do like the kind of crimson red here towards the back. I guess the stock's what you'd call it. We have the, if I say any of these gun things wrong, please let me know, because sometimes I just don't know. This is what the handle looks like. It's pretty nice. I know that at least, you know. It's got some really nice small details in there that are a little hard to see, but pretty well done. It's molded in this slightly, I want to say metallic type of, it's kind of like a glittery gunmetal type of plastic that they're using. It's a dark gray. Lots of really nice details right here with this little handle right there. The barrel's well done. I guess this would be a sight. So all of these details look pretty good. But this is the only weapon that he comes with. I wish he came with at least one more accessory. Maybe some different weapon. I don't know what he's going to use in the game. So I guess they just used one. And yeah, I don't even know if McFarlane Toys knows what's up with this character. So I can't really blame them for only giving us one weapon. So I really like the face sculpt of this figure. It's really well done. Really nice cybernetic details going on in the cheeks and the jaws. A little bit of some sculpting in the face for the facial hair, but it's mostly painted on there. I think it's the same thing for Johnny, actually. I mostly said it was painted on there for Johnny, but it has a little bit of sculpting on there. Really nice silver paint used for the cybernetics. The eyes came out really clean. I have no idea if they're using some type of face printing technology, but it just looks really good. Skin, I don't know. The skin looks a little shiny. That could be just the plastic that they're using. It's not horrible. Sometimes Marvel Legends are kind of like that too. It's not really a complaint. That's just something I was pointing out. Really nice scar above the left eyebrow right there. Let's see what else we got. Around the back, you see even more cybernetics, some silver going on there. It's just kind of weird that we got a Takemura character here, a figure, you know, before Jackie, even though Jackie's been in a lot more of the trailers. So I hope they make Jackie next. I'm not really complaining about that for the figure, though. It's just something I wanted to bring up. Really cool hair sculpt. Nice man bun going on there. A little bit of paint going on the hair, so that's cool. The neck is awesome. I think this has some really cool details. It's kind of hard to see because the shadow, the collar of his shirt really makes it like a shadow. There's some nice red paint in there, mostly some metallic silver. It's super clean. Let me see if I can try to get that. Yeah, there's a little better look. Man, that is just awesome looking. Doesn't move around, unfortunately. There's only articulation at the actual head, but that's okay. That would have been cool to see the neck move a little bit, though. So I liked it with Johnny when it was an entire, his vest was an entire soft rubber piece, like a soft plastic. This time around, this entire torso, pretty much. This is soft plastic. All of this is one sculpted piece. These are separate from the shirt, of course, but this is also a soft plastic, so it doesn't really hinder the articulation and the legs. However, it's not horrible. I don't really dig it this time around, though. It's just because the long coat here kind of gets in the way. I do wish this was at least, if it was all a soft plastic, I think that'd be fine. So I wish this was a separate piece from the shirt, though. But that's just me. I do like the orange and some of the silver on the orange there that came out. I want to say some of the white is bleeding on there, but it's not too noticeable. Right there it is kind of noticeable, so that's not great. There's not much other paint, I want to say. I just think it's just molded in this, like, black. It's almost like a bluish black. There's not much paint here. The only paint you're getting is the white in the shirt. And the orange right there. There could be some additional paint apps that I'm missing, though. It is sculpted nicely, though. It's got this nice leathery almost type of texture to it. I think there's some silver right there, too. Alright, that just could be some black that was reflective and made it look silver. Still, pretty nice. Nice sculpting going on in the arms. There's even some sculpting in the joints, as you can see. A little bit of some bracers for the forearms. Now, one thing I forgot to mention with the Cyberpunk figures in the previous review is that the ball joints. Let me see what I have. Yeah, I have V here. The ball joints, they don't really look that good. They look very distracting. It's kind of better here, just because it all blends in a little bit better, because you have some more details covering that ball hinge. But it's still kind of, to me, distracting. It's not horrible, though. The hands have really cool details. The skin tone is actually a little sloppy when it comes to that paint, but the silver on the fingers and the knuckles is actually really clean. With this nice silver belt towards the pants. We move down towards the pants. We get some nice texturing going on there. It's really well done. You even get some details towards the back and a little bit of some wrinklage on, is that even a word? Wrinkling on the back of the legs here. So they actually sculpted that. That is pretty cool. Something's going on with the, sometimes, I don't know what the last figure I owned that had this problem, but a little bit of some, you see that? That shiny detail right there, and the rest of it's looking pretty matte. I don't know what's going on with the plastic and paint. Sometimes that happens with figures. I don't really understand why, though. These nice cuffs here for the pants. They actually don't get in the way of articulation like Johnny, so that's pretty good. This is a pretty soft piece. I believe it's almost, this whole leg soft? I think it's something's up here where they glued some soft piece onto the front here. Now this is weird. I think they might have glued what details would have been for the pants to the shoe. I don't know if that is actually how a shoe is supposed to look, but watch this. I will talk about articulation in a second. But you see this? That's moving with it. And it just looks too much like the color of the pants for me to think that it's for the shoe. I think it's supposed to be for the pants. I could be completely wrong. I don't really know what's going on here. So these just kind of stick out here. And they're a soft plastic piece. It's just kind of weird to me. The shoes are really cool though. They did some really good detailing with the shoes. A lot of the times, like with NECA and McFarlane Toys, the shoes are just cool. Makes me jealous of my shoe collection. There's the bottom of the feet. So let's zoom out real quick. Try to get a 360 if we can. Try to focus up. Get a little bit more flush down here. It's not a bad looking figure. It does have good details. They just did some strange things for the sake of the articulation. So speaking of, head's very basic, side to side on a ball joint. Up is actually pretty good. Down is okay. And the side to sides, again, pretty good. Nice neck pivot. You have a little bit of a butterfly joint for this guy. The back is better than the front, though. Arms could go all the way around the shoulders, in and out. Upper arm swivel. It's a little tight. Double jointed knees. Or, why did I say knees? Elbows. You know these are elbows. He does have double joint knees, though, which I'll talk about in a second. We do have the hinge here that swivels at the forearm and the wrist, so you can manipulate that to go in and out or up and down. So this is a soft rubber piece, like I said, and the forward is really not that good. I don't know what's going on if the joints are just tight, but it just goes forward. I'm very nervous I'm going to break it. That was as far back as I could go. I could try to go one more. Yeah, that's a little bit better. We've tried to bring it all the way back. That just sounds dangerous. It does have a swivel. It can sort of go side to side like this, so that's kind of cool. It's just that articulation is better on Johnny. Just gotta have to say it. Let's go forward really far because that is a soft plastic piece. Just be careful with that piece. The back is actually pretty good. This part of the sculpting would like to go over the soft pieces sometimes, so just be careful you don't rip anything. In and out like so. We don't really get, sort of an upper thigh swivel. It's just the sculpting here is really getting in the way. We do have double jointed knees, as you can see right there. We do have actual nice ankle swivel, and up and down is not the greatest, but not as bad as Johnny's. And then we do have the ankle rocker, and we do have a toe hinge. For size comparisons, I have both the previous Cyberpunk 2077 figures, just to give you an idea of how well they all scale with each other. And then I have the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn from McFarlane Toys on the left, and a standard size Marvel Legends figure like Cable there on the right. And then I have a standard size NECA figure on the left, that is the T-800 from Terminator Dark Fate, and another standard size NECA figure that is the Walmart exclusive TMNT 90s movie Casey Jones. So to end this review, I'm going to show you what this figure looks like with his accessory as well as some other figures. This is a pretty alright figure for what McFarlane Toys had to work with, but it does have some problems. I think the right leg might be shorter than the left leg, actually. There's something up going on there. He likes to lean over to the right, so it just doesn't look the greatest in neutral poses. Articulation could be better as always. The paint is pretty good. I feel like there's some areas where there just isn't any paint, but there's plenty of detail on this guy. I just wish he came with maybe an additional accessory, maybe just another weapon. Overall, again, I don't really know if I could recommend this figure for $25. If it drops down in price, then maybe. If you need like a goon that's more of like a Cyberpunk type character, this figure might be worth it. But again, $25 is a little steep, especially for a character we don't know anything about yet. Again, once the game comes out and we maybe learn a little bit more about this character, it'll be worth it. But for now, I can't really recommend this figure too much. If you're a Cyberpunk completionist, though, and need this for your collection, definitely pick it up. It's $25. I found it on Amazon. I pre-ordered it there. You can find it on other retailers that I will leave down in the description below. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends, and I'll see you guys later.